And just to be in the spirit of giving, we just have 2 Christmas songs for you. The first is going to be Here We Come A-Caroling, and the second is Jingle Bells.
Here we come a-caroling among the leaves so green. Here we come a-wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you glad Christmas too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. God bless the master of this house, likewise the mistress too. And all the little children that round the table too. Love and joy come to you, and to you glad Christmas too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha, ha, ha! Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey!
What a great job by the Rancho Verde Chamber Singers. Let's give them one more round of applause. Very, very nice. So again, thank you for being here. I'd like to start with board member introductions. My board, beginning with our president of the Board of Education, Ms. Suzanne Stotler. The Vice President of the Board of Education, Mr. Julio Gonzalez. Thank you for being here. Our Clerk of the Board, Ms. Shelley Yarbrough. Member of the Board, Ms. Marla Kirkland. And Member of the Board, Mr. Matthew Serafin. I also want to recognize that our county superintendent of Riverside County is here with us this evening, and that's Dr. Judy White. Thank you for being here. And we also have with us tonight a former county superintendent and secretary of education for the state of California. Dr. David Long is here. And I'd like to introduce my team, which is our cabinet, and that's Deputy Superintendent Darren Waters is here. Assistant Superintendent Juan Cabral. And Assistant Superintendent Mark Lenore is here. I want to give a special thanks to all of our executive assistants that are here tonight, but especially to my executive assistant right over here, Diana Rupi, for really helping to put the thing on and making it look so sharp for us. Our security and communications technician handling all the social media tonight. You'll see him taking pictures, Jonathan Moreno, he's right here. Thank you, Jonathan. And our awesome Johnny Nunez, who shoots, produces, and edits our district videos along with his crew of Val Verde students. And they're running the cameras tonight in the trailer in the back. Let's give them a hand. And it's also a bit of a historic occasion for us in Val Verde as we have we've taken the first steps to establish a police department. And we're the very first police chief for the Val Verde Unified School District Police Department, the first in Riverside County. Chief Clark is here. Thank you for being here. Okay, we've got a pretty significant list of dignitaries that are in the audience tonight. I'm going to try and get through everybody. So from Mark Takano's office, Lena Abassi is here somewhere. Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Why don't we hold the applause and we'll do one big one right at the very end for everybody. Mayor Pro Tem for Moreno Valley, Victoria Baca is here. Thank you for being here. Ulysses Cabrera, council member, City of Moreno Valley is here. Richard Duncan from DC Architects. Cesar Gomez from Assembly Member Medina's office. Bill Grunman from Erickson Hall Construction. Jesus Holguin from his board member in Moreno Valley Unified School District. Jaime Hurtado, Supervisor Ashley's office. We also have from Moreno Valley Board of Education, C.J. Johnson is here. And the superintendent of the Moreno Valley Unified School District, Dr. Martin Rex Kedziora, is here with us tonight. Thank you. We also have Joseph Kressel from Erickson Hall. Also from Dave Long and Associates, Angelica Long is here. From Supervisor Marion Ashley's office, Amber Smalley, former student and graduate of Rancho Verde High School. Thank you for being here, Amber. And Mr. James Stotler, connected to our board member, Suzanne Stotler, is here. Hey, Henry Sylvia from DC Architects. We also have a board member from the Paris Elementary School District, Miss Vernicia Green Jordan is with us tonight. Thank you for being here, a neighbor to the south. And from our California School Employees Association, the president of CSEA Chapter 567, Terry Milliman, is here tonight. Thank you for being here. And also Aladrian Sneed from CSEA is here. Thank you for being here. We're recognizing everybody. This is good stuff. One of our district employees, but who is a board member in Paris Union High School District, Mr. Edward Garcia, is here. And I also see from the city of Paris, Michelle Ogawa is here. So thank you for being here tonight. And I also want to welcome all of our directors, coordinators, and I'd like to have all of our school principals for Val Verde please stand and be recognized. Thank you for being here. Let's give everybody a big round of applause. Did I miss anybody? Speak now. Speak now. Yes. No, you're here. And parents, thank you, parents, for being here. Right on. Parents and future employees. Yeah, maintenance and operations, facilities, contracts, warehouse, purchasing, kitchen staff. Let me tell you, you haven't lived until you've worked for a day in a middle school cafeteria. What a great experience that was. You know, Val Verde is, we're really excited to give back to the community that we serve, and we do that in lots of ways, but in two ways with our wallets, our purses. One of them is we've partnered with the March of Dimes since 2002, and we have raised, as a Val Verde community, $243,000 since 2002 to try to end premature birth, infant mortality, and birth defects. And last year we hit our all-time goal, or record, I should say, of $55,599.54. That made the Val Verde Unified School District the #1 team in the Inland Empire, the #1 school district in giving in the state of California for our second year in a row. And so I'm really proud to make that announcement. And that's all headed up, obviously, by local team captains, but our very own Ray Dunn kind of oversees that for the whole district. And so give yourselves a hand for that. And the other charity that we really contribute to in Val Verde is the United Way. And last year for the United Way, the employees of the district, and through some small fundraising efforts, we raised $47,787.06 for the United Way. And I want to thank Jen Doskasil and all the team captains, and I know Laura Slapinski is here, and she's been really instrumental in that. And so for that and the work that we've done with the United Way, let's give ourselves a hand. You know, I'm very honored to work with a team that keeps its focus on students. The focus on students in the community we serve begins with passionate board members. And board members are mostly volunteers that have to handle a lot of documents. They have to do a lot of reading. They're responsible for the fiscal solvency of the district, the policy of the district, and sometimes they're those unsung heroes of the district that really do provide direction. And guess what? They have passions of their own. And I'm really excited to invite you to watch a video with me tonight that features some of the things that our board members are passionate about. And I know you'll catch that as you watch with me. So let's.
Val Verde Unified School District is located in the heart of the Inland Empire, approximately 72 miles east of Los Angeles. Neighboring the district and its communities are March Air Force Base and the Lake Paris recreational area. Val Verde Unified School District schools serve more than 20,000 students, residing in the rural and suburban communities of Paris, Moreno Valley, and portions of unincorporated Riverside County. The district currently operates a preschool, 12 elementary schools, 4 middle schools, 3 comprehensive high schools, a Student Success Academy, a virtual academy, and a continuation high school. As a district with an innovative spirit, we are dedicated to creating opportunities for our students. Preparing students for the 21st century workforce is something that Val Verde Unified School District is taking seriously.
Val Verde has always been an innovative district, risk takers. We have courageous leadership. I've seen the transformation of this district. 25 years ago, we were the first district in the state to be connected to the internet. We purchased the NeXT computer. Many of you may not even know what the NeXT computer is. The board was excited to provide the district the connectivity to the internet. Although there was a lot of naysayers, not everybody was on board at the time. It was a lot of money was spent.
I became a board member because I wanted a better education for the students, not only my children, but the students in my community. And I think that over 17 years we've done that. We've brought forward so many different programs that I'm so proud of. And I'd like to start off from the very beginning when they said, we have a high school and we're thinking about moving it, and I was all for it. I wanted everything thrown at the kids. I wanted them to understand that this world is built not only on higher education and what you can do, but those who don't want to go into that field and want to move forward in something different, something hands-on, something that's physical, something that moves them not only emotionally, but energizes them to a point where they say, yes, I want to do this.
We understand that we are preparing students for jobs that may very well not yet exist. This is why Valverde offers a variety of programs geared towards career paths and higher education goals.
One of the things that I stand for, that I'm passionate about, is that I sincerely believe that every career, every job in our society is very important. One of the things that I like to share with students is that I have a bachelor's from the University of California, Riverside in human development. I have my master's in counseling from the University of Redlands. I'm very proud of that. But it didn't come easy. I was 7 years old when we came to the United States. I was born in a small town called La Huerta in the state of Jalisco. And growing up here in the United States as a migrant student, it was a little challenging. But it was through all the support and guidance that my elementary and high school teachers provided that allowed me the opportunities that I have today, the opportunities to go to college. And without their support, without their guidance, I don't know where I would be at.
STEAM is very important to me because my career as a physicist allowed me to engage in many aspects of STEAM today and also to recognize how important it is. I grew up in West Virginia in a little country school 50 miles from the nearest city. I was fortunate because I was allowed to engage in things that other students weren't. I had two advantages. One of them was that I always scored well on tests, and the other was my dad was the principal. When I was 11 or 12, I read somewhere that a physicist was someone who played all day and got paid for it. I said, that is for me. That is for me. So I told my parents I was going to be a physicist. My 8th grade teacher in West Virginia told me that girls from West Virginia could not be physicists. I told my mother, she always said it was a done deal after that. And I will say that it was not an easy path. Today's path for girls or people who are a little different is so much easier. I would love to be in school today and have the opportunity to build, to learn, to design. And that's an opportunity that we want for all of our students so that they can grow and that as things change, they will be able to grow and develop.
The Dual Language Immersion Program, it's a language program at its core, and students come into it as kindergartners. When they come in, the first year they learn 90 Spanish, 10% English. That's how much they communicate. Then it progresses to 80-20 the next year, and then the following year 70-30, all the way until it's 50-50, and then from then on it just stays 50-50. Well, for me personally, I just see the positive effects, the effectiveness. There's just so much research on dual language immersion. It's something that I wish I would have been in personally, because for me, I'm not able to communicate with my abuela as good as I want to. I'm not able to communicate with certain individuals as good as I want to because my Spanish isn't as good as I want it to be.
We understand that preparing every student means providing an environment that embraces the different skills and passions of our staff and students while providing opportunities for growth. Val Verde is truly powered up with passion and purpose to ensure all of our students are future ready.
What do you think? Let's give our board members a hand. Great job. So I'm going to turn it over here shortly to Mark Lenore, who's going to take us through a bit of a PowerPoint presentation and show some more highlights from the district. But in the meantime, today was the first day that we could really talk publicly about how we're doing on the new California dashboard. And there's various indicators now, and we're very excited because it's now kind of a multiple measures system where, you know, certainly academic scores are being counted, but we're also looking at suspension rates and graduation rates and how our English learner students are doing. And also another measure called chronic absenteeism will be coming into the mix, and then how we're doing preparing our students for college and career. And so I just pulled grad rates, and again, this was just made publicly available today. Our graduation rate, according to the dashboard today, is 96.3%. And so we're very excited about that overall. We think that's a very nice number for us. Now, interestingly, our African American students have a higher graduation rate than our overall graduation rate. Our African American students have a graduation rate of 98.5%. So we're very excited. That's worth a hand. Our Hispanic students, graduation rate 96.1%. Our students that's great too, right? Our students that participate in the National School Lunch Program, also 96.1% graduation rate. And, you know, most of the time when we think about closing the opportunity gap or the achievement gap, it's how are subgroups doing compared to the white subgroup? Well, I'm delighted to tell you today that our African American students and our white students have exactly the same graduation rate, which is 98.5%. So pretty excited about that. I think that's good news for Val Verde. And I'll tell you that our English learners, I'm actually very excited about this one. These are students that come, they're learning English as their second language. We've put a lot of resources, and we have some really talented teachers. We have Dr. Carla De La Torre that oversees our English Learner Services program. Our English learner students have a graduation rate of 89.5%, so we're very excited about that. So, as the newspaper, today was the first day that the newspaper could pick up this information, and so I'm thinking that, you know, over the next 24 to 48 hours, you may see some things in the news and some statewide announcements and things like that, and we'll certainly be prepared to talk a lot more about those other indicators as well, but I wanted to share just one piece of it with you tonight. And so at this time, please welcome to the podium here, Mr. Mark Lenore.
Mr. McCormick, did you have the clicker? Or?
No, there wasn't, I didn't see a clicker. There's no clicker, he's gonna do it up.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. It's an honor to act as the Assistant Superintendent of such a wonderful school district, and you know, the video highlighted some of our programs, and traditionally when I, as Assistant Superintendent of Ed Services, I do these presentations and I have a lot of data and I talk about all these charts and bar graphs and things. I'm happy to tell you tonight I'm not going to do some of that. I'll do a little bit of that. I'm a data guy. That stuff gets me excited. I'm sorry. But tonight I'm going to be talking to you a little more about just what I'm excited about in general, why it's such a pleasure to work here in Val Verde, and some of the great things that are happening. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. First, right here you're seeing the portrait of a graduate. We worked with an association called Ed Leader 21 and a gentleman named Ken Kay, and This is an organization that studies future trends and what's going to be needed from our students in the future. And we surveyed our community and combined that with research, and we came up with these 5 areas of things that we feel that are important that our graduates are going to need to know in the future. And so these are the 5 things. As the students leave Val Verde, we're hoping that they have a solid foundation in these areas so that they can be successful in whatever avenue they choose to pursue. Next slide. But what provides us a day in and day out focus yearly is our board goals. And our number 1 goal is reading by 3rd grade. And if you look in the navy blue areas, these are the things that we feel that we're going to focus in on in order to help improve and get further success in this area. And so, next slide. This is a graphic which emulates that, all of these things here. These 5 areas were identified by research, and we're focusing in on these areas. We have extended learning opportunities that take place in the summer and on Saturdays for our kids so that they continue to improve in the area of literacy. We have opportunities like family literacy night for our parents and information. We team up with our family engagement center so that our parents are also learning at the same time and what they can do. We have a focus on attendance, and some people may say, well, big deal. Well, it is a big deal, and we really have a real push right now to ensure that our kids are here every day, because we believe that if our kids are here every day, they're more likely to be successful. And Mr. McCormick mentioned the dashboard and some of that information. On the chronic absenteeism rate, we learned 2 days ago that our chronic absenteeism rate is the 2nd lowest in Riverside County of all K-12 unified school districts. So we're pretty pleased about that, but we're never satisfied. And we believe that if we're pushing literacy, that our kids are more likely to be successful in elementary school. They're more likely to be successful in middle school. They're more likely to be taking rigorous courses in high school, and they have that solid academic foundation so that they can be successful in the post-secondary option of their choice. Next slide is college and career readiness. I want to say, first of all, we're extremely proud to be part of the Riverside County Education Collaborative. This is a network of 5 districts: Moreno Valley Unified, Val Verde Unified, Temecula, Murrieta, Paris Union. We have connections with UC Riverside, our County Office of Education, and Moreno Valley College. And we work together to see what we can do to make each other better. And it's proven over and over again that that's exactly what's happening. And now the state of California is looking to see what can other county offices do to have the same type of approach that's happening in Riverside. When we talk college and career readiness, there's a lot of things that go into that. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about technology. And these 2 pictures here, this is one of the first teachers that was teaching in one of our new STEAM labs. We put in 11 new STEAM labs in 12 of our elementaries. We have 1 that's being worked on right now at Victoriano and should be completed soon. And on the bottom, there is a group of kids working on completing their FAFSA in the Rancho Verde Library here. Next slide. And so what I thought I would do is I'd highlight some of the STEAM labs just to give you an idea, because I know you don't have the opportunity to get out to all of these schools, but this is May Ranch Elementary. May Ranch Elementary has a focus on engineering and robotics in their STEAM lab, and very attractive. I got the pleasure of being able to go over there and actually see kids involved in the STEAM lab and in activities, and they were so excited. It was so great to watch. Next slide. Here's Rainbow Ridge. What an amazing looking facility, a really attractive classroom right there. Rainbow Ridge has a focus on the culinary arts. They have an amazing garden. They're planning on using that garden to work hand in hand with their STEAM lab and teach their kids a number of things and healthy alternatives. Next slide. Triple Crown. Triple Crown Elementary is working directly with a company called HoverCam. And matter of fact, HoverCam sponsored a lot of the electronic tools that they have in this room. Triple Crown's STEAM lab will be used as a model for a number of districts to come down and look at. So we're pretty proud of that. Next slide over. Val Verde Elementary, you could see that each one of these STEAM labs has a different paint scheme, has a different type of flooring, has a different type of furniture that they're using. And you can see the very wide layout here in Val Verde, and they're looking to see what they could do to get the kids more actively involved while they're in the STEAM lab with their furniture layout. Manuel Real, you can kind of take a look. You can see the green screen in the background. They'll be doing a little bit of video and a number of other things in there. Next slide. Columbia was one of the first schools to actually go down this route, to be looking at layouts. They kind of helped pave the way for some of the others to get involved and start imagining what the possibilities were. I invite you, if you can and you have the time, to take a look at these rooms, and it's really exciting. I think, you know, you heard in the video some of our board members say, it's like, gosh, I wish I can kind of go back to school again. You know, really, there's so many opportunities here and so many things that we never had the opportunity when we were in school. Quickly, though, you may notice it's a little different in here, too. We redid this facility here. We got new carpet, new seating, everything. And I'd just like to give credit to Mr. Darren Waters and his team, Stacy Strouderman, Greg Witten, Bill Fouts, and all of his team. More people than I could announce, but all of them working together. You should have seen the project list, and it was just amazing. Next slide over. We have a focus also on just being creative. Most of our elementaries now have gardens, and it's like, hey, we're kind of going back in time. Gardens, huh? Yeah, well, we've partnered up with EMWD. They provided grants for our elementary schools, and they also they're working with the city of Paris. And so we're pretty excited about that. If you have an opportunity, go to Vista Verde. They have a whole new environmental literacy program there, and it's about a ½ acre of just pure gardens and trees and things like that. It's amazing. You know, when you think about this, when I was a kid, I had a little plastic cup and a bean, and that was my experience. Here's a picture of, that's more of the garden. Yeah, so the next area, again, is technology. All of our students now, last year we had the one-to-one where they all got assigned a Chromebook. This year they're actually taking them home and get to interact with them throughout the day and evening. So you see pictures of them working in their classrooms. And then in the bottom right, you see our superintendent, a group of parents, some board members, and some students there. He actually took a group up to Google, and they got to actually go around the facility and take a look at how Google operates. If you see, there's some familiar faces. One of the students there, I believe his name is Andre. He was a student who gave our welcome back address. Well, I believe it was Andre's birthday, and Andre, when he was flying Southwest, he was really nervous, and they found out about it was his birthday, and he was nervous, so they sang happy birthday to him. And then you could also see him a little further down. He's in the cockpit and got to actually be seated in there. It was a really neat event. Next slide. AVID is one of our programs that we help push college and career readiness across our district now. K through 12, we have AVID programs in place. And I'm happy to announce that a lot of our schools are AVID schools of distinction, national AVID demonstration schools. AVID Center has been here a number of times, and they're actually looking at performing a case study on Val Verde Unified with its systematic implementation of AVID. Today, in Florida, the state of Florida, at the National AVID Conference, Val Verde Unified teamed up with the Riverside County Office of Education and created a video on AVID. Well, that AVID video was used to open up the conference today, and the CEO of AVID had tremendous positive things to say about it. So I'm pretty proud about that. Val Verde is getting out there, and a lot of great things are happening within our schools. Next slide. Again, here's some more pictures of the Environmental Literacy Center at Vista Verde and some of the gardens that we have. Next slide. So when we talk middle schools, our middle schools are really pushing rigor as well. We have our Scholars Program at all of our middle schools. Right now, all of our middle schools are offering for the first time Spanish, where our students can get a jump on their A through G requirements and get some of their high school requirements out of the way in middle school. Our Algebra 1 program is expanding, and we have an 84% meeting or exceeding standards rate with all the kids who are taking that class. So we're seeing improvements in our middle school approach. But in the next slides, I want to talk a little more just about academics. It's all about the comprehensive program Some of them academic, some of them extracurricular. Next slide. In our high school program, we have our ROTC program here at Rancho Verde High School. They do an amazing job here, and they help open up each of our board meetings. Next slide over. Our arts program is really coming along. I just put in a couple of pictures of Rancho Verde. Rancho Verde just recently won an international competition, and our middle school programs, band programs, are all of our high school programs. If you go and you take a look and listen to all of our high school programs, they sound really good. But I'm really in awe also of our middle schools. They're doing an amazing job with these kids. I predict that if we keep going on the rate we're going to see this school this district become the powerhouse of band programs. I can't talk high school without talking athletics. Some of you may have heard that we won a game last Friday night against St. Francis. And some of you may have been there. It literally came down to the last 2.8 seconds, and it was a field goal, 37 yards out. If you weren't there, I'd like to take a quick moment to just recap those last 2.8 seconds. Go ahead.
It's good! The Rancho Verde Mustangs are the Ford CIF Southern Section Division III champions.
Obviously a lot of happy people there. That kick, for me, symbolizes Val Verde. The kicker actually missed a previous field goal attempt and took a hard hit. He wobbled off the field. And yet he came back, and all the pressure was on him. Tremendous amount of pressure. Stepped up to the plate, did it. Here we are. We're going into the state competition tomorrow night against Cajon High School. Amazing. CTE, we've got a lot of great CTE programs. Here are just two of them. We have the Val Verde High School studio. If you haven't seen it yet, you gotta get to it. Right next to that is our picture of our welding program, and that's Congressman Takano being instructed how to weld by one of our students. There's 12 welding stations, and it's just, you should see the kids. They're just beaming, because a lot of these students, when they're done with the program, they're gonna be certified and be able to make a lot of money coming out of high school being certified in welding. Next slide over. This is our superintendent on the set of Good Morning America. This is about a month and a half ago, and he's there. He kind of looks like a weatherman on the right there, doesn't he? Right there. But he got the opportunity to meet some of the staff there and obviously some of the anchors, but took a really hard look at their studio. I'm happy to say that our studio at Val Verde High School is more in depth than what you actually see at Good Morning America. That's incredible. Next slide over. College Board, so I'm going to share some data. I couldn't get by without sharing some data. We actually offer the PSAT to all of our 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 11th graders. We had about 5,600 students take the PSAT, and why that's important is that we identify more and more kids who could actually take rigorous coursework in advanced placement. And we had about 1,250 kids take the SAT. Next slide over. And you're starting to see some of the results. We have more and more kids being involved with AP. A lot of them pass the test, some don't pass the test. Some maybe might get a just slightly less than a passing score, but if they get that exposure, they're more likely to be successful in college because they've got exposure to some rigorous courses. Next slide. And again, here are the number of exams. You're seeing the number of exams on the rise as well. Next slide. Here's some of the results. Our UC CSU course requirements, you're seeing that our A through G rate is going up and continues to rise. I believe we're a little higher than that right now even. And for the third time, we found out last week that EdTrust West will be coming to Val Verde to interview us to see what are we doing to continue to increase our A through G rate. We're starting to stand out in the state. Next slide over. Graduation rate, Mr. McCormick talked about our graduation rate. There's two types of graduation rate, an overall graduation rate and a cohort graduation rate, and you can see where we're at along those lines. And we're pretty proud of that. Next slide. I'm most proud of this. This is our dropout rate. And you could see back in 2010, we were above both county and state. And now you look where we're at. We're way below both. And we're going to continue to see what we can do to get better. We're only going to get better by continuing to collaborate with our community, with our sister districts, and our county office. I believe that. Next slide. This has got to be one of the highlights. I know I'm going on here, I'm sorry. But this year, our Board of Education on June 20th voted in the FAFSA as a graduation requirement. And I'd like to give them a hand because of this. It took a lot of courage to be able to do that. There was some criticism initially by some people who really didn't know what they were talking about. But as a result, there's such of a focus. We had the statewide kickoff at Rancho Verde High School here. And let's go to the next slide. We know this is just one reason why it's important that for every dollar that a student gets a Cal Grant, that the community will eventually see a $4.50 return. So we're making an investment, and there's plenty of money left on the table, so we're going to continue to push that. Next slide. And so one of the big reasons why some students don't continue on with their education is because of financial reasons, and we're going to continue to push that and see. This high school, Rancho Verde High School, had the highest FAFSA completion rate in the state of California out of any large high school in the state. And they were 90%, 91%. An amazing accomplishment. Next slide. So Cal Grant offers us some of the data from the push. You can kind of see the number of Cal Grant offers that have taken place. You can see the big increase this past year just with some additional pushing and prodding. More importantly, next slide, you're going to see the dollar amounts and what they amount to. So you can kind of see the amount of money coming in just on Cal Grant A, B, or C for our student. Doesn't include scholarships, doesn't include Pell Grant, doesn't include work study opportunities for our kids. And we're estimating that the push that was done last year will equal up to $3.5 million. And so here is a video. Go ahead.
Much as you can about all of the student loans, financial aid that is available. There's a lot of money that's still left on the table every year that's not claimed. Do you guys hear me? There is a lot of money that goes unclaimed. Fill out your FAFSA forms when you're filling out your college applications. There is financial help to get you to your dream.
So that was Gabrielle Union. Some of you may recognize her as the actor that you see in the movies. Gabrielle Union was giving reference that there's a lot of money left on the table. 3 years ago, there was $500 million left on the table just in the state of California alone. Since we've been doing the push here in Riverside County, it's now down to $400 million. And I think now that Race to Submit, all of these things are going statewide. Gabrielle Union was used through the help, and we got her through the help of our county office. She came, she really couldn't have done a better message. Since then, Gabrielle Union is now being used by a national organization to help promote FAFSA completion across the entire United States. And it all started here in Val Verde at Rancho Verde High School. Next. Here are some of the activity we saw on Twitter, our county office, Michelle Obama's Reach Higher initiative, retweeting some of the things, EdTrust West, and again, Better Make Room, national organization to promote financial aid awareness. And let the numbers speak for themselves. When we looked at our social media activity, the largest event that we had prior to this event was the first day of school, hashtag first day of school, and we got about 110,000 impressions. In Race to Submit, when we did this week, we hit 5 million. And it shows you, wow, there's a lot of people that were looking at this event nationwide, internationally. Incredible. Next slide. I'm really excited about this. It's not as colorful, it doesn't look as pretty, but this was a letter from the state superintendent of California telling every superintendent, every county superintendent, every high school principal to adopt the strategies that were learned here in Riverside County. And so we have to be really proud of that, as goes some of the things that we're doing here in Val Verde, in our collaborative, in our county, so goes the nation. Next thing is professional development. We've done a hard push with professional development to ensure that, next slide, that all of our employees are getting a continued opportunities for growth. And our graphic here basically outlines our whole focus and approach. We know that we're doing the right things, and we're going to focus on making sure that our students get the support they need, our faculty, all of our schools, and so the end result is that they'll all demonstrate these areas that we talked about earlier. Next slide. And here's some of that. Val Verde is unique in the sense that we have an approach to professional development where teachers are teaching teachers. You don't see that in other districts. We have a lot of expertise, and we're getting further and better results because of that. So we're very happy on that. We're also making sure that our classified employees also get these same opportunities, and we've worked with them with the Labor Management Initiative, making sure that they have these opportunities as well. Next slide. And my last area is community engagement, our community relations, what we're doing with our parents. I'm so proud of our Family Engagement Center. Here's some pictures here of just some activities, our parents taking workshops and classes, and these 3 tenets are what we stand for in family engagement. Next slide over. Here's some more classes. You see a bus here, but we offer leadership classes, and each class, with each successive class, we get more and more parents in, and we're seeing more and more support, and we're seeing more and more results. This bus here is just helping our students with some healthy options, making sure they got proper dental care. This right here is our Val Verde Unified School District Mobile Fresh Unit. If you haven't got any fresh vegetables or fruit, it's making tours around our district office. This is here at Columbia Elementary School, and a lot of our parents are starting to take advantage of it. And so it's kind of like the Amazon approach, where we're bringing stuff to you, and we're going to continue to see where we can go with this and hopefully expand on that. So in the end, this is, again, what we stand for, where we're trying to go. You're going to hear, again, just all about the great things in Val Verde, but they're not done in isolation. It's all the result of collaboration with our community, with our sister high schools, with our County Office of Education. And with that being said, I just have one slide, and it's this one right here. We have our LCAP meetings coming up. And with our LCAP meetings, we are inviting all of our community members to come out and give us continued input on what we could do to get better. And if you haven't noticed at the top, we're going to also have student entertainment there, and we're going to celebrate our superintendent's latest credential, and that's his food handler certificate. We're going to have a carne asada dinner for those who show up, and we're hoping that we get a great turnout because, again, what's made us better is the input and feedback that we've gotten from everyone here. Thank you for listening.
Good evening. I'm Darren Waters. I'm Deputy Superintendent for Business Services, and we'd like to talk about a couple of the goals that Mark skipped over that were fall in my area. So I'm going to start off with the fiscal, and I'm going to this might be a little bit smaller read, but I'll go ahead and read them to you as you go down the fiscal. The tasks, developing a system of fiscal control to provide greater insight into financial management. We're working with HR to work on some internal control systems. We're just purchasing some software we think is going to really help us manage that. The middle one is expand outside funding opportunities. We have recently reconstituted our foundation. I will let you know, I'm going to make a shameless plug. If you'd like to make a donation to our educational foundation for scholarships, be happy to help you with that. It is a tax deductible item, and we are near the year end. And if you're looking for a tax deduction, we're here to help. We're also looking at some other financial software to help us with our management. The board goal is really to reduce our deficit spending. We're still struggling a little bit with deficit spending. We're not there yet, but we're making tremendous progress. And that was identified in their first board goal that they did a couple years ago. When we were looking at the financials, we had a deficit that we thought we'd end 17-18 with a deficit spending amount of $7.2 million. Let's see, I think I got that on the slide here. So we started off at $17.2 million that we thought we'd end this year with, and we have worked tirelessly trying to reduce that. I'm happy to state that we are now in a positive position that we think we'll end this year in. And we do 4 financial snapshots of our district every year, required by law. And we actually do more than that, but the 4 are required, and that's where I've taken these snapshots from our audited financials on where we're headed here. So this is showing us reducing. We were spending more than we were taking in. We're anticipating that. We've got rising costs and some flattening of some revenues. It's going to be some big challenges for a lot of districts. Val Verde's not alone in this. This is a statewide issue we're all facing, and we're kind of tackling each year as it comes, trying to work a year or 2 ahead on this. And this is a proud moment for the board. They've achieved the goal that they sought out for, and I applaud you for that. Next slide, please. Facilities, and because I don't have my glasses on, I got to look at it on my phone because I can roll it up pretty good there. We want to make sure we're providing obviously safe and well-maintained facilities for all of our students. We're in the midst of, or on the downhill side of providing solar at almost every campus. Our goal is to put it at every campus. We're going to fall short on that goal, but the reason why is a technical one. March Middle School is not in Southern California Edison. It is in another power utility, and that utility does not do net metering, which is how you work that out in a power purchase agreement to make it pencil out. But we're going to have it all our other schools, and we're not giving up on March. We're going to look at ways to try to make that happen over there. Also, another shameless solicitation here. The board has a goal. We have a wonderful aquatics facility at Citrus Hill High School in the Mead Valley area. We've had 1 year where we had an outside entity come in and run a summer swim program, and we're looking for that opportunity again. If you know anybody that has an interest, private or public, for-profit or not-profit, that wants to run a summer swim program opened up to our community, we would love to talk to you about that. And then, if we could, the measure that we use on our facilities is what's called a FIT report, or facility inspection report. This is done by an outside third party. They come in, they walk through every campus, every classroom, every space of the campus, and give us a score. And you can see here that the one on the left is the 2016 numbers, and the number 17 on the right. And you can see that we've expanded. This is our elementaries, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 exemplaries in 16, and in 17 we were up to 7. And then if you go to the next slide, you see our middle schools. We had 1, now we're at 2. Our high schools, Orange Vista should be 100% exemplary. It's a brand new campus. But you can see all of our campuses, nothing is below the second tier. So it's either exemplary or good. And it's not, we don't have any negative numbers on how we're maintaining our campuses. And this really goes out. I know Mr. Lenore was talking about our M&O department, Peter Davenport, Rich Marquez, Bill Fouts, fantastic leadership team over there doing a great job for us. Our facilities team, Stacy Strotterman, Greg Witten, and Randy Wiggs. These folks are dedicated individuals that really have a passion about making sure our campuses are in great shape for our students, and I think that helps on the bottom line for the academic success that we're able to tout. I think that's my last slide. Victory. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. I'm Human Resources, and this has been all set up so that I can now recruit you and make sure you want to work for Team Val Verde. We have a great team here. If you can go to the next slide. I start with the word teamwork because I began in Val Verde in 1995. And I've been able to sit in different chairs, teacher, administrator, and the word teamwork stands out from the time I started to now. And HR is committed to constantly hiring folks that are going to come join the team and be a part of a collaborative network. We are a very successful district, and I like to say it's because of the people who work for Val Verde Unified. We have wonderful parents that are very supportive, and when we do training with our subs or with our classified staff, sometimes I facilitate the training. I congratulate them for making the choice to join Team Val Verde, and then I challenge them. You know, we're at a 93% grad rate. Well, the reason why our kids graduate is because they connect with the people that work here. And so I challenge our new employees to help us get that number even higher. And I think they meet the challenge every day. Going green, if you want to go back really quick. Going green, in HR this year specifically, we're committed to going paperless. And so we're very excited about many of the programs that we're starting. All of our evaluations for employees, certificated and classified, are all going to be online. We've just began the process to do online rec system. We're going to do everything we can so that all of our evaluations and anything that we used paper for in the past can all be all online, and we can have it saved, and we can basically do a better job of not wasting so much green. Answers. Okay, you can go to the next slide. Answers is what we try to have all of the answers in HR. And we urge people to give us a shot. If you don't know the answer, reach out to us by phone, email, and the best way to do that is to go on our website, and this is our homepage, where you can find any of the answers. And if you're not sure, you can always contact, there's a tab team, anybody that works in HR, you can email us and we will give you the answers. I like to joke a little bit that we have all the answers. It's just that sometimes people don't like the answer. But I do want a shot to be able to let you know what is the real answer before you try to find out from somebody else. If you go to the next slide, please. And finally, I know that some of you want to join Team Val Verde, and I urge you to go into our website. We are constantly recruiting through EdJoin, and we have opportunities right now for substitute teaching and for clerical subs in classified. If you are interested in working on your own schedule, I urge you to apply. We really need you. And as you can see, you're going to join a team that is very collaborative and that has great students. And if you want to find out if that's true, join us and you'll find out. Thank you very much.
Well, for those of you in the audience today, I want to thank you for being here. And I'm going to ask you to stick with us for just a couple more minutes. And for the audience that's joining us online through streaming, we're so happy you could join us. Thank you for being with us this evening, and that concludes our broadcast. And Jonathan, just give me a thumbs up when you confirm that we're off the stream. Okay, we did that for a reason. We've got one more thing